Rangi's catch was a fantastic experience. Just, it was a lot of fun. I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to ride that horse around the South Island, around the Marlborough Sounds. And I remember seeing the director of that in New Zealand being interviewed many, many years later. And someone asked him about Temuera Morrison and how he kind of grew into an actor. And he said, yes, I remember Tem. He could stick to a horse like glue. Couldn't remember his dialogue though. And it's still the same today. I remember this funny scene where we were, Paul Gittins, our boss of Shortland Street, playing McKenna. He was having a heart attack or some heart problems. And we were trying to revive him, right? Trolley's running in, the ambulance, cameras are trying to shoot all this. I'm running in there, what do we got? And then I had to say the patient's going into ventricular fibrillation. The patient's going, and I was struggling. I couldn't say fibrillation. The patient's gone into VF. The other doctor goes, what's VF? I went, very fucked. Paul Gittins gets up, pulls the wires off, goes, can you guys hurry up and remember your bloody line so I can go home? And then lies back down again. Oh, just some of the drama that was off the cameras. Oh, that couldn't go on screen, was so funny. After 3 years, I'd done my dash. I was calling it hands in pocket acting. Hands in the old stethoscope around the neck, hands in the pocket. What have we got here? Funnily enough, Lee Tamahori, the director, had me in mind to play one of the minor police roles. There were a few police roles that led to a couple of meetings. I think they had me in line for Uncle Bully at one stage. Blow me down, I got a phone call from my agent. Hey, they're keen on you to come in, have an audition for Jake. And I was on Shortland Street going hard, and I remember grabbing a couple of raggedy shirts and asked the makeup artist to put some tats on me. But still I had that mullet haircut, that mullet style wavy curly hair, which you couldn't really see him. So I went along to the audition, whacked out a pretty good audition with a limited time, limited resources, but I'd read the book. Then a lot of conversation took place between the people and my agent. They were nervous. They made the decision to go with me instead of finding the real Jake. That was the other option. Find somebody who really looks like the part, we'll teach him how to act. Or find me, who had a little bit of acting experience, and rough him up a bit. So that's the way they went. It wasn't a nice experience for me, to be quite honest. I didn't really enjoy it. I could feel that tension. I could feel that thing going into, feel those people not quite happy, very, very kind of nervous about, will he pull this off? I thought he was just a warrior out of his time in a way, you know. He would have survived quite well back in the pre-European days, you know, just a fighter, scrapper. But, you know, again, a product of society. I based a lot of it on the book, though, And fortunately for me, I was brought up here in Rotorua, where the writer was from. Robert Bruce I worked closely with, we made him up. Then the director came in, then the writers came in, Rewea Brown. And then the haircut came in, that helped. Then the big boots came in, that really helped. I tell you what, I had these special boots with foamed up, big heels on them, which made me 6'1". And I powered on the protein shakes and ate a whole lot of chickens and ate a whole lot of mince. And I worked on the physical side of Jake, because there's no way he just had to be physical, just had to look the part. So I just worked and worked and worked. I don't know how I did it today. I'm still recovering. It's been 20 years. And again, praise to my agent, Robert Bruce, who actually got the hard work put on him in a way. Get this guy ready. From Lee and the producers, Robin Scholes, get this guy ready. So if I wasn't at the gym, he'd be ringing me. Bro, where are you, bro? You're not here, bro. Get your ass in here, bro. Clive Green, we'd be in Clive Green's. 4:30 in the morning. Rena was a pain in the ass at the beginning, going into it, because she was such a fired up actress. But at the end of the day, to be quite honest, it was a matter of all of us lifting ourselves up to Rena's emotional levels. She has a reservoir, a wealth of emotional energy that she can draw on. Her well's quite deep. Ours were coming in quite shallow compared to her, so she had the power. I don't think they looked at anybody else for Beth Heke. Just a bit disappointed. She actually never won Best Actor, Best Actress that year. Amazing. But boy, what a powerful, powerful, powerful performance. I knew I wasn't that good in myself in that first one, even though I got away with it, but I wanted to be better in the second one. So I really enjoyed the second one, because I knew I was on top of my business, I knew I was on top of myself in terms of my character, and I'd been there before, and so I just didn't want to leave any gaps. Instead of raw, hard edge like the first one, this one we wanted was all about redemption, all about redemption. I'm not quite sure if we achieved it in the final cut. There were things like at the end, you know, at the end when I'm fighting, still fighting, I wasn't quite sure, but yeah. It was a lovely time. We had a great AD on all the boys. We had a great camaraderie on that, and the pig hunting scene I just always remember, because I had these boys trying to take Jake on a voyage of redemption. So take him out hunting, take him out to play rugby and things like that, you know, put him a couple around the positive role models. I just don't know if we actually got to the redemption, you know what I mean? But the film was, you know, that attempt, because I don't think, you know, it's kind of a hard one, does this guy get redeemed? What, maybe I have to make another one. I might have to make another one. A bit nervous on the first day, but yeah, once you settle in, kind of got to work with Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's just fascinating because you don't see any of it, eh? Yeah, it's all kind of green and blue and big cameras with digital on instead of film running through the camera and things like that, and the sets are just ginormous. They take up a whole hangar, and then sometimes you're still left on a chair, just like how I'm sitting now. Okay, pretend you're flying your ship and that's all it is. And you're sort of going like this, flying your ship, and you actually feel a little bit self-conscious, a little bit silly at times, but that's all I'm doing. I'm sitting on a chair like this, no different, pretending I'm flying a ship, but the array of technical things that are around you, and the equipment and the size and the sets and the spaceships and the made-up people and costumes. But the thing about Star Wars is it kind of leads to this great fan base that you have. You know, it was kind of cool, but I remember actually getting the phone call, yes, we'd like you to play Jango Fett. Yeah. Who's Jango? Here was a film that we got the funding, which was the hardest thing to get. But the script didn't make sense because the writer was about to work on my character, and unfortunately he had passed away. Nicholas, bless his soul. Fortunately for me, they brought in wonderful cultural advisors to have a look at my character, and they brought all the material in for me. And this was a guy called Brad Harmey, who's working in the industry a lot, and Ngā Maru Rairino. So I was so blessed that they fixed my journey up. They fixed and they brought stuff in from their own tribal history. It was great again to work with the English, you know, just that manner of I'd worked with the English earlier on in my career, but just their pace and just their nice, but, and getting around the country again. But it was one of those films that, we really came together as a crew, real tight family unit. There was a lot of warmth. It was a small group of us, but it just came together and was one of those magical working experiences. We had a wonderful script by the time our advisors had finished with it, and to work with Ray, a powerful actor from England. Oh, it was just a wonderful time again. A lot of running up and down South Island and cold feet, but it was just, there's a camera again, lights, action, out in Glenorchy, out in no man's land. Oh, I wouldn't exchange it for the world, just the experiences. I've been in Star Wars and high-tech films, and when you sort of just have a little bit of a glimmer inside you, a little tenacity inside you, and it conjures up a question, gee, I wonder if I could go to Hollywood. I wonder what my chances would be like. But I went there, naive, photos in the bag, and in that process and going, I feel good because, I stepped into that dark area of fear. And at the end of the day, that's where the magic has been for me.